Hey guys, so this past weekend I met up with one of my friends who I first met in Singapore while I was on exchange. And we went around downtown San Francisco, and a lot of what we saw and a lot of what we did reminded us of our time on exchange in Singapore. So I thought it would be a good idea to do a quick recap of what I did. And the best way I could think of was to go through some old photos. And so today we'll be going through 59 of my photos from exchange, not just in Singapore, but also some of my travels here and there around Southeast Asia, um, and some other parts of Asia as well. The reason why I picked 59 was because while I was there, it was the 59th National Day for Singapore. So Singapore turned 59 when I was there. These photos will be random. I picked them from across my entire time in Singapore. So starting from just before August 2024, when I went to Korea, up until December 2024, when I left Japan to go back home to Canada. So let's see what's up first. Oh my god! So this photo was in the Hello Kitty 50th anniversary exhibit in Seoul, Korea, and I went with one of my friends and my sister. So my sister tagged along for some of the trip. I was only there for a week. My sister was there for 2 weeks. But my friend is from Korea, and so she was just at home, and I wanted to visit before she left. She actually goes to university in Canada. Up next, okay, so this is Banpo Bridge in Seoul. So this is the Han River, and it's pretty cool because they have this fountain along the bridge that has colored lights, and they sort of move to the music that they play there. It was quite nice. We ordered some Domino's pizza. I didn't know Domino's was a thing in Korea, but it is, and I had potato pizza for the first time. It was pretty good. Next up, oh, so this was in my first week in Singapore, but it wasn't in Singapore. So my first week of Singapore, I actually had a friend from Singapore who went to NUS, um, and he was on exchange in Toronto, where I'm from. And so I met him there the year before. It's in Malaysia. It's called Johor Bahru. Um, and there's not too much to do there. It just has cheap food and cheap shopping, pretty good food at that. And right across the border, well, one thing that's pretty neat is you can just take a single bus from Singapore to Malaysia, and it takes about an hour and a half, depends on how long the border crossing takes, because sometimes it can be pretty popular. There's this place called Roti Boy where they have these buns. I don't know if they're coffee buns. I think they're sort of coffee flavored, but they're also sort of like pineapple buns, just without the pineapple topping on it. So these ones are really good. They're so fresh. They come out really hot, and they're so fluffy and a little bit buttery as well. Maybe not a little bit buttery, quite buttery. So these were so good. This one is a really cute photo that I got in a dog cafe in Johor Bahru. It was the same trip, and my friend wanted to get a haircut, so I had some time to myself. I thought, why not visit a dog cafe? I'm not super big on pets. I do like them, but I don't know if I'd have a pet myself. I'm allergic to cats, and dogs are some more work. Um, so this was still very fun. I had a really good time feeding the dogs and petting them, and they were really cute. Okay, this was on National Day, the 59th National Day of Singapore, where they have fireworks in the Marina Bay. And it looks like it was a little bit of a rainy day or just a very cloudy day, but this is a picture of the art museum. There were lots of people at the event, so it was so crowded and it took forever to get out of the place. Oh, this was in the Flower Dome in Gardens by the Bay, and I went with three of my friends and one of my friend's friends who was visiting. from Canada, and we had a lot of fun. I think this is one of my core memories from Singapore because the domes were really nice. It was pretty crazy how nice of like a sort of garden there was. It was so beautiful. We fooled around a lot, and I just had a lot of fun. Oh, these are the super trees in Singapore, and they light up around I think 7 to 9 p.m. I think every day. And since we were in the area, I believe we came to see this right after. And they play music and also lights up to the music. Um, yeah. Ooh, so I went to Hoyo Fest in Singapore. So I can't remember the name of the place that it was. It was just in some sort of mall. It was like half mall, half office area, but they had Hoyo Fest, and I was really into Genshin Impact maybe 2 years ago. I hadn't played for a while, but I was still kind of interested in getting some Genshin Impact merch, and a couple of my other friends were interested as well. I think this time I went by myself, but then I went again with my friends because I told them about it, and oh, they're like, oh, I do want to go. But when I went the first time, they weren't available, so I decided to go by myself, and I got some cool stuff. I think we were on a sort of night bus. There was a U-Town event where they took like a tour bus, a double-decker tour bus around Singapore, and this was part of it. It's probably near Chinatown, but I'm not certain. Okay, this is a big haul of stuff that I got at ETH Global Singapore, and that's a hackathon, blockchain hackathon for Ethereum. And I just got so much free stuff. There were also these travel bags that you can use to pack your clothes like more densely. Those were actually very useful. I also have these pajamas. I wear them now. They're fairly comfortable and they look kind of interesting. I missed out on a speaker and Crocs with gibbets on them. So that was too bad. So many stickers and also socks as well. I think blue light filtering glasses. Yeah. Okay, this I don't know about the name of the song, but this was a concert for one of my courses where it was it was sound and music computing actually. So it was a CS course rather than a music course, but it is very related to music. So they just had a concert because a lot of people in this course are really into music and into playing music. So they perform, so they can volunteer to perform. I think they might have gotten bonus marks as well, but I didn't perform. I'm definitely not good enough. Some of them were very good. We had a good singer who was a TA, pretty crazy. That was very cool. Ooh, F1. I think this was all during the same weekend where I did the hackathon. I went and got the merch from the hackathon. I went back home. I went to the Mid Autumn Festival event at Jurong Lake. And then on Saturday, I had the concert. And then my friend from Singapore had tickets to F1. And he wasn't going to stay for a sort of night session. So he let me borrow them, and I went. And I wasn't really into F1. I'm still not really into F1, but it was really cool to see. It was a very unique experience. This is just a photo of ETH Global Singapore. The food was actually amazing. It was in the Marina Bay Convention Center, and yeah, it was a very nice venue and good food. It was it's the craziest kind of hackathon you can go to. My team didn't end up winning anything because we were honestly there for the free stuff and just to be in Singapore. So That was nice. I did so many other things. I think it was worth it. This was in Da Nang, Vietnam. So for reading week, or their equivalent called recess week, which is in the middle of the term, me and a couple of friends, or a couple of friends and I went to Da Nang, Vietnam, as well as Hoi An, which is a little more traditional town nearby. This is one of the pagodas, and it has this very large statue. I only went with two of my friends because everyone else was busy. And honestly, I think this was my second favorite trip of my entire time on exchange, mostly because of the area. I think it was a very nice area, very nice place to visit. But I think my top choice for favorite trip will come later. And that was more for the activities. So I'll get to that. This was another photo of the pagoda, and I think this was my favorite photo. It was such a nice photo. This little gazebo here, and just a very nice view, very calm, very peaceful. I was amazed when I came to see this, and it's a very tucked away corner of the pagoda. This was at a night market. We just saw some lobster and they let us hold it, and I took a photo like this, which is kind of funny. We ended up having some lobster tail. I shared it with one of my friends. It is still quite pricey because it's seafood. This is a photo with my two friends who I went with to Da Nang, Vietnam. This is the well-known bridge that has like the two hands holding the bridge. I can't remember the name of the bridge, like some golden bridge. Um, and this is at the top of Bana Hills, which is sort of an amusement park, more like a theme park. There's a nice garden there. There's a sort of French looking town. Yeah, things like that. This was in Hoi An, which has a very nice river. You take a boat there and you can put floating lanterns in the river. It has a very nice view, very nice sunset. Oh, this photo is right after one of my interviews, since I was looking for an internship, and internships I'm going for in North America. They're interviewing on like Eastern time zone or Pacific time zone. And so this was in the morning. I had my interview at 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I went out and I saw this popular local spot for coffee. And I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but I tried this and it was very good. It was a salted coffee, and it kind of blew my mind. Like I didn't think I could enjoy coffee this much. That day was a very memorable day because I had four interviews and that was the first of four. This is just a photo from Brawl Stars. This is a screenshot because I got a 52 win streak. Um, this is just because I was playing low trophy characters against bots. So let's skim over this. This was a hawker center. I can't remember which hawker center it is. This place is particularly known for their skewers and satay. Well, called Satay Street. The reason I went was because NUS was having some sort of event where you go to these hawker centers, and it's sort of like a cultural experience, mostly for international students or exchange students, and they give you money to eat food here. So it was like a free meal. Why not? So I went with a couple of friends, and it was quite nice. The food was really good. The skewers were quite good as well. This was at the night safari at the sort of zoo in Singapore. This was for one of my friend's birthdays. We went to the night safari, and these are the otters there. The night safari was actually quite nice. I definitely recommend that. This was on Halloween when they had some events going on. They had free face painting, they had food, they had other Halloween themed activities, and I got my face painted. A funny thing was, I had not an interview, but a call with Meta Ambassador. So while you're in the process of interviewing with Meta, they give you three chances to have a little coffee chat with people working at Meta. And so I had one of my coffee chats and I went into the coffee chat with this and it was just so funny. I went to the Singapore Aquarium with a friend who was also into Genshin Impact, and they had a collaboration with Genshin Impact, which is pretty crazy. Who would have thought that an aquarium would have a collab with Genshin Impact? It was pretty cool, actually. There was like this sort of passport where you can go around, and there are these stamp stations around the aquarium. You get a few other things with the purchase of the ticket. It's a special kind of ticket where you get admission into the aquarium and some bonus stuff for Genshin, which is exclusive. That's pretty cool. I had a pretty good time. It's a somewhat small aquarium. Oh, I also got some merch from there. I got this little necklace that has a which has a manta ray. I have a matching one with my girlfriend. I got one for her as well. Of course, how could you forget the Changi Airport, the Jewel, which has this really big kind of waterfall in the middle of it. The airport is stunning. It's crazy nice. Maybe this was just a random time that we went to the airport just to see some stuff. Because they even have some pop-up shops and whatnot there. This is a photo of, I can't remember if it's a clavichord or a harpsichord. It might be a clavichord. I might be guessing wrong, and then my professor from Singapore will not be happy. But I had a course in social history of the piano, and so we talked a lot about the history of piano manufacturing, how pianos came to be. And so this is the precursor to a piano. I had my first Jollibee meal in Singapore. Uh, my first Jollibee meal ever in Singapore, and I got pretty classic combo. They had like the spaghetti. The chicken is amazing, and the pies are so good as well. I think I think I liked it so much, and I was so hungry that I got another combo. But this was not all that I ate. I was big backing back in Singapore. I went to Sentosa Island with some friends. I think this was just to see what was on Sentosa, because we've never been, and we didn't have really any plans for what to do there. We were just looking around. We found this Hello Kitty 50th anniversary. It was like a some sort of run. It was maybe a charity run, and they just had this all set up. It was kind of cute. So I took a picture here. This is the pool, the infinity pool in Utown. So the residence you can see in the back around here. So I was living in this building, and it's quite nice. There were some pests. We had a pest problem, some cockroaches, some drain flies and whatever. But anyways, this is about the pool. I only went to the pool maybe twice. It was a very nice pool, not too busy, and it has a nice view of Newtown. This must have been Mid Autumn Festival, which is close to this time of year. So, wow, this is like almost a year ago. And I think this is either the one around Marina Bay or the one at Jurong Lake. I remember the one at Jurong Lake a little more distinctly because I went with a friend and I also went with a sort of tour group. It was like an NUS event. So yeah, Mid Autumn Festival was a lot of fun. There was an event in Utown at NUS, and there was an event where we went out to Jurong Lake, and it was very cool to see all these lights and all these sort of displays of art. This was in Utown as well. It was an event, I think, for Deepavali, and I can't remember the name of what these are, but they're very good. They're quite good. We had this whole event where you get free food, you can you can do like all sorts of activities. You can get henna tattoos, things like that. It was pretty cool. Um, you can also like decorate these little flower things with like colored rice. I'm not really sure what that's called, but it was quite fun. This is a late night meal, I suppose, a late night snack. There's only one place in Newtown that is open pretty late, and we'd be going at like 1 a.m. or maybe 2 a.m. I can't remember if it's open until 2 or open until 3. I think probably open until 2. The food is not very good, I'll be honest. It's not very good, but it was the only thing available. And so I did go there. I think this was around the time I was still searching for an internship for the winter. And spoiler alert, I didn't find one. This is a photo from another kind of concert, maybe more of a recital for some NUS students in music. And this was for my music composition class, I believe, where they tell you to attend one of these recitals and do a brief like reflection of what you liked and I don't know what else about it. But yeah, just like a brief reflection or a discussion post about it. And it was quite nice actually. I think people should just attend these more often, not just because they were required to as part of a course. Yeah. This was in Kuala Lumpur. I actually had my first taste of durian. Well, not first taste. I've had durian flavored things before, and I really didn't like it. But when I had this, it was a blackthorn durian, so one of the more expensive kinds of durian. I actually really liked it. It tasted really good, and you never would think so because it smells so bad. But when you eat it, it was actually so good. I can't even. It's even weird to me now that I could even like it, but it was so good. We went to Kuala Lumpur uh, by bus, an overnight bus. It's like a 5 to 6 hour bus, and we thought, oh, if it's overnight, it's fine because we can just sleep on the bus. But it was not a good experience going on the bus there. It was not comfortable. Kuala Lumpur was there were parts of it that I didn't really like. Like it wasn't the cleanest. But overall, I had some good food there, and I don't really know what else I did there. I think it was just a lot of good food and some things to see. Like we went to Batu Cave. Batu Cave, honestly, it just has a very long staircase with a lot of monkeys, and then you go into the cave. It's a kind of cool cave, um, and there's not much else in there, to be honest. This was also in Kuala Lumpur. This is one of the bookstores. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a very unique bookstore. It's a nice place to go see, but we didn't buy any books. On our way back, we stopped by Johor Bahru again because there's this really nice banana cake place that my Singapore friend told me about. I brought some back the first time and gave some to one of my friends, and she really liked it. She was like, I don't know why she's such a big banana bread or banana cake fan, but she really loved it. And we went and we got like we got like I think how many are there? Seven? We got seven cakes. The funny thing is we were taking the bus back from Kuala Lumpur, and we split up because some people wanted to go directly back, so they had like more time or whatever. But what ended up happening is the people who left to go straight to back to Singapore had so much traffic that they ended up arriving much later than we did. Even with this detour, stopping in Johor Bahru and going back to Singapore, we got there much earlier. So that was pretty crazy. Oh, this is a nice little gift that my friend from Korea gave to me. He gave me and one of our other friends this little gift that has like some cosmetics in it, some stuff from Korea, and I thought it was really nice. It was very nice of her. This was in Little India, I think, the hawker center there. Um, this naan was so good. This might be the best naan, garlic naan I've ever had, and it was a lot. I think they gave such a big portion. I can't remember if the top left is butter chicken or not, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But it was very good. I went with my uh, Indian friend and one of our other friends, and my Indian friend rated it pretty good, I think. There were some like sort of desserts or like some snacks that we got that were sweets, and he did not like those. He was not happy with them, and I didn't like them either. Okay, now we've made it to Thailand. This was the view from our Airbnb in Bangkok, and honestly, it was such a shithole. Like the Airbnb itself, the room is quite nice. It was a little small, but it was quite modern, like recently renovated. Everything was pretty nice. But outside, this apartment complex was so sketchy. Well, maybe not so sketchy, but it was so dirty. There were there were rats and cockroaches all over the first floor. Like at night, you'd go out or you'd be coming back and you just see like a dozen cockroaches scuttling around and like a few rats here and there. It was nasty. And another story is even getting there in the first place was was a little bit of a struggle. It was definitely the Uber driver's fault, but my friend and I were like we arrived at around like 1 a.m. and it was supposed to only take maybe like 20 minutes to get there. But the Uber driver took a wrong turn on the wrong side of the river, and the river didn't have a bridge for a good like 5 kilometers. So we just kept driving straight. And it was sketchy because there were like no lights there. And there were just these sort of abandoned looking houses and like weird driveways, and it was sketchy. Like you're in Thailand, and yeah, I mean it was Bangkok, but uh, it was just a very weird experience. It was a kind of scary experience. I was with one of my other Korean friends. We were just in the car. We were just sort of panicking, freaking out, and it took like an hour to get to our place because we had to drive like 5 kilometers to get to the nearest bridge and then drive down like 4 kilometers because the wrong turn was just abysmal. And I guess at some point they could have backed up early, but they just they just really I don't know why they didn't do it. They just kept going. Okay, next photo. Ooh, this was in Chiang Mai. We went to there was this light festival going on when we were visiting. So yeah, Thailand was my favorite trip because of the activities that we did. This was so surreal, seeing all these lanterns like flying to the sky into the sky. It was so like beautiful. It was I can't even put it into words. It was an amazing sight to see, and we got to light some up ourselves, one for each of us. And we met up with a bunch of other friends there in Thailand because a lot of people were in Thailand at the same time. Out of the people on exchange that I knew, we had like maybe 10, 12 people. It was it was so cool. Oh, we went to an elephant sanctuary. This was sort of a last minute thing. Our plans were very spontaneous, and in Chiang Mai, we decided to go to this elephant sanctuary. And this is a photo with one of their like baby elephants, their younger elephants. We got to feed it some corn, I believe. Um, it was quite cool. It's quite a unique experience that I've never had before. We got to feed elephants. We got to wash elephants. Like you get to go into the river with them and like splash them with water, and then they splash you back, and they also shit in the river. But I made sure to stand upstream from them. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know how sanitary it is, but it was a cool experience. This was in this was on PP Islands. We went to Krabi, not Phuket, I believe, and we stayed in Krabi, and then we made a trip down to PP Islands because that's the place to be. There are some nice islands, very nice beaches. This beach was so nice, and we went snorkeling. Pretty cool. I'm not much of a swimmer, so I have a life jacket on. But yeah, it was really fun. But one thing is, since I was going into the water, I took my watch off, and I had like a Samsung Galaxy watch, like a smartwatch. So I took it off and I put it into one of my pockets of my fanny pack, but it wasn't zipped up. And then we were late to get to the boat, and they were already pulling away. So we had to sprint, and then I dropped my watch. Like it fell out of the pocket, and I never got it back. But I could track the location, and it went to Phuket. Someone picked it up and went to Phuket, and I never got it back. I was like, damn, this is moving. It's moving. Like someone took it. I was like, oh please, like the organizers or whoever like was doing the tour with the boats. I was like, please try to like if anyone picks it up, please try to get it back. And I never got it back. So yeah, now I have like a Garmin, Vivo Active 5 or something. Um, yeah, but I was kind of sad. I was like, there's no way I lost my watch like that, but I did. This was an email from my Meta recruiter, and they asked me after I did my online assessment, like the coding assessment and my interview. They asked me, "Oh, are you available for a summer internship or a fall internship?" And I said I'm available for both, as I was. And they said, "Oh, well, it's good to hear that you're available for fall. How about we consider you for fall instead?" And they in this email it says, at that time we'll reassess your application taking into account your previous submissions. Previous submissions only includes your initial application. So I'd have to redo the coding assessment and redo the interview. And they didn't take any of this into account when I was at this point. And so I was like, what is going on? They wanted to give more opportunities to students that don't have a co-op program, so they can only do internships during the summer. And I was like, okay, but yeah, I don't want to do that. Like I applied for summer, and you did you made me go through all of that, and you're just scrapping it. Like it was a waste of my time. I spent a long time preparing for that interview, and I was like, there's no way. They tried to convince me. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna have a better chance if you go for fall instead because you have less competition." But there's also a lot fewer interns during the fall, and it wouldn't have been as fun. That's for sure. So I had to just be like, no, no. I'm strict on. I'm only going for summer. If I don't get it, then I don't get it, I guess. So well, good news is that I did end up getting the internship for summer, which was like such a blessing. I honestly don't know if I deserved it, but I got it. So that was just this eval. Oh, right after Krabi, I flew to Bali, Indonesia, to meet up with my Korean friend who gave me that gift. So I met up with her and one of her friends, um, someone who also went to the same university as her. And so I wanted to visit Bali because some of my other friends already went uh, during maybe recess week, but I wanted to go. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna tag along your trip. And so we went on this sunrise jeep up a pretty big hill, and we waited for sunrise. We took pictures with the stars, we took pictures with the sunrise, even though it was quite cloudy. I guess apparently it was a better day than most days around when we were visiting. They had really nice views. and the beaches were really nice in Bali. Like it was quite a nice place to relax. This was back in Singapore. I went back to get all my stuff because I didn't have final exams, and they had second recess week, which is like a period before exams where you don't have any classes, and so we went to Thailand for that, and then some people, a lot of my friends had exams, so they came back to do their exams. I came back to pick up my stuff, but before I left, I went with my friend from Singapore, and we went to a place called Singapore Flyer, I believe, and it's just this. It's called an observatory, but it's like a very very big Ferris wheel, and it's very big. So you don't quite get as tall as the Marina Bay Sands, but you get a very nice view, nice panoramic view of the bay and all of Singapore, I guess, at that point. So, my friend, since he's from Singapore, he actually has like a work perk where he gets free tickets to this. So he brought me there. Oh, I think this is probably Rosso of Ghibli, but there was a Ghibli exhibit in the art museum in Singapore, and I was like, I gotta go see this before I leave Singapore because I don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm not a huge Ghibli fan. Like I've watched a few movies, and I think the movies are great, but I just thought, why not go see it because it's cool. I wanted to make the most of my last few days in Singapore, so I went around doing as much as I could, and this is one of the things I did. I went by myself, but it was still quite nice. There's a chili crab from I think this place called Jumbo Crab. This was my last real meal in Singapore, and I went with a bunch of my friends as sort of a farewell, and it was quite nice. Like the food was quite good. Honestly, I liked the cereal shrimp. Like it's coated in cereal, like almost breaded in cereal. I actually quite enjoyed that, and the chili crab is also pretty good. But yeah, I think chili crab is one of the few things that Singapore is known for, along with their Hainanese chicken rice. But yeah, a lot of good Southeast Asian food from Singapore. After I left Singapore, I went straight to Taiwan, so Taipei, Taiwan. And one of my friends from Waterloo was on exchange there. And this is a photo of us drinking beer after a nice bike ride along the river. Honestly, it was such a nice bike ride. I haven't biked in so long, but it was a very peaceful, very calm ride along the river. And the weather was so nice. It was perfect. Like I can't imagine like a better bike ride than that. It was so nice. I guess I acquired some of the taste, and out of the out of the three sort of major beer brands, Singha, Chang, and Leo, I think Chang is probably the best. Chang or Singha. Leo was very bitter. This is near an abandoned coal mine. I think this is close to Shifen. Jiufen is more iconic because people think it's like Spirited Away probably. Yeah, but this is an interesting abandoned railroad. Oh, my parents and my brother also visited um, Taipei while I was there. So we all sort of converged there. My brother was traveling around Asia as well. My parents were also traveling around Asia, just not together. And so we all converged on Taipei, and we had some Din Tai Fung, and these uh, the Xiaolongbao. So these were very good, but I think most people say like Din Tai Fung is overrated, and we did have to wait like an hour and a half because the wait time is ridiculous. But yeah, this was in Busan. So after I went to Taipei, I went straight to Busan, and they had a very good tteokbokki and fish cake soup. It was so good. It was so good. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed my time in Busan. I was solo traveling, and I stayed around Haeundae Beach and went to this temple. Can't remember the name of the temple. I went around and had a lot of good food. Busan is maybe not as interesting as Seoul, but it was still quite fun. This place, I believe it's called Blue Line Park, or there's like this trail along the water, along the coast, and there are also these cars that go along the tracks, and they're pretty iconic for Busan. And so I just I honestly took their regular train because apparently the ones at the top they're quite expensive, especially if you're going by yourself. If you share it with other people, then it's cheaper because you're splitting it. But just for me, it would have been like 40 bucks, and that wouldn't have been worth it. So I took the normal train. It was like 8 bucks maybe, and and then I realized, wait, I can just walk along it. So I ended up walking along it as well, and it was quite nice. It was quite a nice walk. Ooh, hot dog was so good. I I had like I had this multiple times, in different places. Like it's a type of street food, and I can't even really describe it. They're maybe it's like hot cakes. Like I don't know how to describe it, but they're so good, and there are different flavors. There's like the typical like honey flavor, and there's also like one with nuts in them, and yeah, it was just so delicious. It's like probably one of my favorite desserts or like street food items. Oh, I went to my friend's university to take a quick tour. This was pretty late in the evening. They went to Hanyang University, and uh, we took a quick tour around, and it's a pretty nice campus. I mean, compared to Waterloo, a lot of things are nice, but it is quite nice, and and they have such nice like homecomings where they have like K-pop groups perform. It's so cool. But anyways, I didn't get to experience that. A little jealous though. I met up with some of my other friends from exchange. They're actually both from Waterloo as well. We met up in Seoul, and we went to Gyeongbokgung. And this time I I wore a hanbok because the first time I went the before my exchange, I didn't wear a hanbok, but we did go inside. It was also super hot the first time I went because it was the summer. So this time it was a lot chillier. I wore a hanbok and it was so drippy. I love this photo. This one's so sick. We had a really good time. Oh, we went to Starfield Library. Oh, it's a very bright library with lots of stars. So I did like this little jumping star photo, which is kind of funny. Oh, and then we went to Tokyo. This is not from Tokyo. This is uh from Hakone, which is a little town near Tokyo, which has a really nice view of Mount Fuji, as you can tell, and a nice little shrine there with a torii gate that's in the water, and that one's pretty iconic. This photo is so amazing. Like I can't even believe I took a photo with my phone like this. This was a really nice view. And when I went back to Tokyo, cause my girlfriend wanted me back home, and so I split off with my friends. My friends went to Kyoto, and I went back to Tokyo. And for most of our trip, we stayed in a capsule hotel, which was an interesting experience. Um, and this was a ramen spot that had a shoyu ramen, soy sauce ramen. That was so good. It was mind blowing. I think this is possibly my favorite ramen I've ever had. It's definitely in the top three. It's so good. I wish I could try it again. I honestly passed. I think I probably saw it on Google Maps or something and passed by it, and the line was so long, but I just had to. I actually went to Team Labs Um, I can't remember what the name of it was because there are two team labs in Tokyo. I went to the first one the year before, so in 2023. It was pretty cool. I don't know if it was necessarily worth, but uh, yeah, it's cool to see, especially if you haven't gone to one before. And oh, that's all. That was much longer than I expected. I talked a lot more about each photo, and I hope you learned a little bit about what to do while you're around in Singapore, while you're on exchange, or what to do while you're traveling, and you've seen some cool things that I've done. And I really miss all my travels and being on exchange and not having to worry about like work and and courses as well because it was pass fail and doesn't show on your transcript if you don't do too well as long as you pass. So I do miss having that freedom and having and being in Asia because Asia is so cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching all the way and like and subscribe. See you in the next one.